Welcome to part 8 of the Gilded Monocle's Steampunk Jewelry Tutorial Blue Jean Dream. We're going to go ahead and finish up our embellishments in this part of the tutorial. And as you remember, we finished our left side with our little crystal beads and our little turquoise round beads with the bead caps. And we were getting ready to finish up the right side. We have our crystal done on the right side, but we need to do the other parts of the chain and complete the embellishments. And what we want to do is try to achieve a balanced look, as we talked about before, using kind of the idea of the rule of thirds. And we're going to go ahead and attach the last bit of chain, remembering to keep in mind that we're going to have a twist in the fabric and the necklace, which we will use the copper tubing and some actual rivets to ensure that that twist remains in both the material and the piece itself. So we're just going to go ahead and attach this remaining chain. And again, don't worry if the chain is too long or if it's too short. You can always add links. That's the wonderful thing about working with chain as opposed to, beading wire or some of the other necklace components out there. Chain is very, very flexible. Well, not literally. That was a really bad joke. Anyways, yeah, you can easily manipulate the chain to get the length that you desire. So we'll go ahead and finish this off and close this loop. I can never get this thing on. And you can pick any type of bead that you like. You can pick, if you don't really like the blue, you can add red, you can do orange. Just about any color will go with this necklace. And you can alter your inks when you do the washer pendant or, however you want to match it. But the neat thing about the washer and the way we sort of decoupaged it is there's so many different colors that will go with a necklace simply because the decoupage has so many different colors in it, and it's kind of a fun, neat little project. And the great thing about it is if you absolutely hate it, you hate the way it turned out, you just use an X-Acto knife, you grab some more newsprint, and you start over. You just pull your little gems off and you can start all over again, and it won't cost you a thing other than a little bit of time. So those washers are just really cheap, and you can just pull the paper off if you just don't really like the way it turned out. So all I'm doing now is trying to get this link fixed and get this attached, and we will continue on here. And again, we're just adding this bit of chain to go across because it's basically going to drape. You're going to have an upper chain that drapes across the throat, and then the lower chain that drapes just past the sternum or the collarbones. And then the piece will have the pendant hanging lower down, like more in line with your cleavage. So we're going to finish up these beads, and we'll add some more. And then when we get to the part with the copper tubing, we'll add some more decorative elements to the actual fabric and the rest of the piece. We're going to use some stuff called Rub and Buff, which has kind of a weird name, but it's fantastic stuff. You can either rub in a patina, a green patina, brown patina. They have so many different colors. Even if you don't like the color of your metal, you can actually buff this in to alter the color of the metal you're using. So this stuff is great, and you can get it at Hobby Lobby or Michael's or just about any craft store, and even online. So we'll just finish out closing these links. Trying to get this to fit right. That attached. Now the reason that we are going to use rivets later on in this tutorial series is that will hold the fabric pieces together, as well as we can actually draw some of the chain through the rivet to not only keep the twist in the necklace, but to add just a more interesting element to the piece. And sometimes you get kind of a bad kink in your chain, which is what's taking so long. I'm trying to just go ahead and fix that so it doesn't break on a customer. Alright, so now we'll just go ahead and move this across. Now this is the upper length, and as you see, I'm kind of twisting it around the fabric, just sort of figuring out where this is all going to be placed. And I'm going to add even more chain here, just about, probably about 2 to 3 inches worth. And we may be taking some links out of there as well. And I'm going to go ahead and close this. We may end up having to open it again, but for the time being, just to keep everything from falling off, I'm just going to go ahead and close it up. Now, as you see, we've got this top length of chain running through. Let's kind of move everything around. We're going to have this twist here in the fabric. And something you can do if you want to really rough up the edges, which I may show you in a later video, is you can use a wire brush or even a heavy plastic brush. Even an old toothbrush will work, and that'll give you that sort of tattered look to the edges of your fabric, which is always kind of neat. I'm just twisting this around here so I can get an idea of how the layout's going to go, whether I want an additional twist or if I'm happy with just this part. And you can do the same thing. You can follow along, or you can create a twist, or even, you know, just ignore the twist and just have the chain hanging through. It's really up to you. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab this part of the chain so we can add another crystal element. And just open up this link here. Just set that aside for later use. We'll go ahead and get our beads, our eyelet head pin. We'll add our bead cap, or actual crystal bead this time. We're not using a cap this time. And our little turquoise crystal, and then another crystal bead. We'll go ahead and close it off by making our loop. And then we'll clip the excess. Add this to a bit of chain here that we took off earlier. Clip this out. We'll go ahead and close this. Remember, you can use any tool that makes it easier for you. Some people like to do some of it by hand, others like to use 2 pairs of pliers. It's whatever works. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and add this piece of chain to the other link. We'll grab this little eyelet here and just go ahead and add it. We'll close this up. And just get this nice and closed. And then this will be the balance to the piece that's on, or the little embellishment that's on the left hand side. And as you can see, it's sort of curved and wrapped through the necklace, almost like it's twisted around the fabric. I'm just going to sort of adjust everything here, and then I'll add it to our larger loop. Alright, well, we'll go ahead and wrap up this tutorial, and if you'll just look for the next and just go ahead and finish up what you're doing and make sure that you subscribe, and we'll finish this out as soon as we can, and we really appreciate you watching. Thanks!